Welcome again to Mr. Wicklam's virtual classroom. Today what we're going to be looking at is differences from 10 to 10,000. Grade 6s, there's going to be some 100,000s in there as well. But for the most part we're going to be looking from 10 to 10,000. What we're going to be looking at today is you're going to see some questions where it's going to give you a blank and then is something then 60. So it might be 10 more, 10 less, 100 more, 100 less, 1,000 more, 1,000 less, 100,000 more, 100,000 less, 10,000 more, 10,000 less. Okay? Did I confuse you yet? Because I've kind of confused myself. But we're going to move on. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at questions, which is something, which is a number, is more or less than 60. So if it's more, then let's write that out as an equation. So let's for instance use this question. It says, what is 10 more than 846? Well, when usually you see more, what you want to do is you want to add. Okay, so 846 plus 10 equals 856. Okay, I'm just adding the 10s together. 1 plus 4 is 5. So what we can say is 856 is 10 more than 846. You're going to see in your book, you're going to see something like 856 is, and it's going to have a blank, 846, and you need to fill in 10 more, or whatever it says in the question. Let's take a look at the second example. It says, what number is 100 less than 846? So always when you see less, you're always thinking it's subtraction. Okay, so let's subtract that. 846 minus 100 equals, so the only thing we're doing is we're just taking one 100 away. So 8 minus 1 is 7, 4 minus 0 is 4, and 6 minus 0 is 6. So 746 is 100 less than 846. This is something that you're going to see in your books. This is something that you're going to need to pay attention to, especially the wording. When it says more, what we're doing is adding. When it says less, we are taking away. And that's what it means by differences of 10 to 100,000. This is a difference of 10. This is a difference of 100. And you're going to see more differences. And we need to be sharp, and we need to be able to calculate these. So what you're going to see is you're going to see stuff like this. 20,000 is what? 20,000 is what? Don't just stop there. Read the rest of the sentence. 20,000 is blank than 30,000. Well, let's take a look at these two. 20,000 is it more or less than 30,000? What would you rather have? 20,000 of something or 30,000 of something? Well, I would rather have, especially if it's Skittles or something awesome like that, I would rather have 30,000. So 20,000 is less than 30,000. Would you agree with me? Good. How much less? That's the key. Well, let's take a look. Is it 10? No, it can't be, because there's zeros there in the 10 spots. Okay? Is it 100? No, because there's zeros in the 100 spots. What about 1,000? Can't be 1,000 because there's zeros there. So it's in the 10,000 spot. So it is 20,000 is 10,000 less than 30,000. Okay? Now let's check this out. 7,000 is something then 6,000. Well, if we know we were going to get 7,000 something or 6,000 of something, we would rather have the 7,000. So 7,000 is more than 6,000. How much more? Well, look at the ones, tens, hundreds, they're all the same. Look at the thousands, it's 1,000 more. So key is, if it is a smaller number on the left, then usually we are less. Okay, smaller on the left, less than. Bigger on the left, more than. Okay, those are kind of the rules. Smaller here, if it's smaller here, we're less. And if it's more, it is, if it's bigger, it's more. Okay, so that's a key rule to keep in mind. What we're going to do is we're going to shift gears. We're going to keep doing the same thing. We're just going to look at the numbers in a little bit of a different way. Okay, so we're actually going to do more of a easier comparison between the two numbers. So when we're reading the sentence, what it says is that 385,487 is then 395,487. Let's take a look at the numbers. So what we want to do is we want to circle the ones that are different. So we want to circle the ones that are different. So the 7s, they're the same. The 8s, they're the same. 4s are the same. 5s are the same. This is different right here. These two numbers are the ones that are different. What place value is that? Well, it's the 10,000 place value. So how many 10,000s? Well, we're only dealing with tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, so it's only 10,000. So 385, remember what I said, if the number here is smaller than this, then the number on the left is smaller, it's less. And 10,000 less. So 385,487,000 is 10,000 less than 395,487. Okay? That's what you're going to see in your books. That's what it's going to expect you to do. It's just the same as this, except we're just doing it in a little bit of a different format. It's a little bit easier to kind of see and to pick out which place value is different to write down in your book. What you're also going to see is you're going to just have to kind of do them in your head. So it's not giving you the two numbers anymore. So the two numbers are now gone. What it's doing is it's asking you what number is 100 more than 3,842. What number is 100 more? Well, the easiest way to do this, you can do it a couple ways. You can do 3842 plus 100. You get 249, get 3,942. Or what you can do is you can take a look at, okay, the 100 spot is a 1, so it's more, which means plus, right? So I want to plus 1, so take the hundreds. 8 plus 1 gives me 9, so 3, 9, 4, 2 is 100 more than 3,842. So all we're doing is we're just doing simple addition. There's a couple ways you can figure it out. You can figure it out by doing this, or you can figure it out by taking the hundreds one and adding it to the hundreds in the number that we know. So 1 plus 8 gives us 9. So 3, 9, 4, 2. Okay? Let's do one more. This one says that there's a number that is 10,000 less than 43,651. Well, first things first. You see that word less? Automatically, that should be ringing bells in your head. That less is subtraction. Okay? Again, two ways to go about how to find this out. We can do 43,651 minus 10,000, and we just subtract. 1 minus 0, or sorry, 1, my apologies, 5, 6, 3, and 4 minus 1 is 3. Or what we can do is we can just take a look at place values. Okay, so 4 minus 1 gives us 3. 3 minus 0, 3, exact same way as I did it here. 6 minus 0, 6, 5, 1. Okay, so all we're doing is we're just taking away that number. We don't get it anymore, so we have to kind of go about it in our own way on how to figure that out. And so It looks a little different, but that's okay. You guys will be able to figure it out, no problem at all. Let's keep moving on. So we just have another question. There's a number that is 100,000 more. See, more, it's always a plus, right? More is always adding on, because you always want more. You always want to add on. You don't want to take away. More than 630,452. 630,452. Okay, again, we can do it either way. 630,000 plus 100,000. And then we add 2 plus 0 is 2, 5 plus 0 is 5, 4, 0 and 0 is 0, 3 and 0 is 3, 6 and 1 is 7. Or we can just take our place values. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plug in the rest of the numbers, just as I did it here. Two ways to solve it, but what you need to make sure, definitely that you need to make sure of, you need to make sure that you get these words right here. If it's more, we're adding. If it's less, we're subtracting. Okay? These are just simple questions that you just need to add, and that you need to come up with an answer for. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to fill in the blanks. Now, always two ways to do it. You can choose to do the 380 plus 10, which gives you 390, or you can just look at the place values. 0 plus 0, 1 plus 8, there's nothing there, so it's just 3. Okay, either one is fine as long as you remember the place values. I use two fingers, so you can do what I do, just get pencil in your hand and use your finger. So let's fill in the next one. Okay, so 0 plus 3, 3, 0 plus 8, 0 plus 2, 1 plus 8, and 6, and there is nothing in the 10,000 spot right there. It's a lot simpler than doing it this way, because it just saves a little bit of time for sure. When you can just do it using place values and just adding the numbers together in your head, it'll save a lot of time. Now, do subtraction. Same thing, except we're just taking away. Okay, 5 minus 0 is 5. 3 minus 0 is 3. 6 minus 1. Take 1 away from 6, we get 5. There is nothing in the 1,000 spot, which is here. Therefore, it's 4. Okay, guys, this is quite simple. It's just easy subtraction, easy addition, except the only thing we're doing is we're using differences of 10,000, 100, 10,000. Okay, that's the only difference. So let's do the next one. Start at the ones. We get 2, and we're subtracting. We get 2, we get 3. Put a comma in there. You don't have to, or just leave a space. We get 4. 8 minus 1, 7. There is nothing in the 100,000. Okay? This is where it might get a little tricky, is when we actually have to fill in a spot down here. Now, all we need to remember is it's going up 1. Okay? It's going up or down by 1 in each one of these place value spots, in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So, a simple way we can do it is by looking at place values. Which one's changing? Ones? No. Tens? Yes. 10. Pretty simple. We look for the value that's changing, and we just write that number in there. Okay? Let's try it on the next one. We're subtracting this time. So one of the place values is going to go down. It's going to be down 1 here than it is here. Okay? So same. 10,000 spots different. Okay? So what are we subtracting? Well, it's in the 10,000 spot. We're subtracting 10,000. Okay? It's just as simple as that. Let's continue. Same, different. 10 spot. Now, don't be thrown by the big number. Same, same. Oh wait, we're actually adding these together. Mr. Wicklam's fault. Sorry. So let's add it together. 8, 6, start at the ones. 3, this one's changing. 5, 9, 2, 1. Okay? When you're adding those numbers together, start at the ones and just add them together. Okay? That's differences from 10 to 1,000. Pages are up on the board. Mr. Wicklam signing off.